Hello, and welcome to Point of View, where we give students a place to listen, learn, and lean in. We're your hosts, Rachel,
Grace,
and Sofia. And today we'll be discussing the gaming community's attitude towards females and how it has affected us personally. So a lot of people know that girls are generally not well received in gaming lobbies. I know for me specifically, there's been multiple times where a lot of guys have been really misogynistic towards me, especially if they find out that I'm a girl, if I start talking. And it's not even just misogynistic, they're sometimes sexual towards me. And it just makes gaming overall something that should be enjoyed turn into something that just is unenjoyable, you know?
Yeah, I feel like, okay, to be fair, I don't really like talk in team chat a lot because like I've seen how people react to girls, so I'm like, I don't want to have that, so I just like, I don't communicate with my teammates, but sometimes that can like be bad if you have call outs and like you can't really communicate with them, but sometimes it's like scary because me personally, I'm just scared that like when they hear my voice, they'll like jump on it and like say something, and I don't do well receiving like criticism or like getting bashed, so I just don't talk.
I'm one of those people that like tries to see the positive in everyone, so no matter what, I'll just like always talk in lobbies. Like I'm always kind of afraid of like what might happen, but I don't really play like longer games, so I play like quick, easy games like Spike Rushes. So I'm not like too afraid of like talking and like doing call outs. But I have experience like in like those longer games, it's more of like you feel you run into more of a chance of like being insulted or being sexualized or misogynistic towards. So it's one of those things that's like sometimes you want to talk and sometimes you don't.
I mean, a lot of times I feel like it can be fun sometimes because like if you get lucky enough to have a team that's like either fun and like doesn't really care that you're a girl, sometimes like they don't say anything or they'll like go along with it and they're like, ooh, I'll buy you like skins or like I'll buy you guns or something, and then like that's just like sometimes they're like more welcoming, which is still like pretty nice. It's nice to see that like people have sort of like opened up more to like girls like playing these games with them and not really like jumping to insult them.
Usually what I do is whenever I'm playing a game, like Rachel was saying, the longer games are more like you're more afraid of getting that kind of backlash because it's more serious and it's been taken like more seriously, especially by the other players. So I really only talk if I'm doing well, and then sometimes after I talk, then the whole team, like, they are very welcoming, like you said, and it's like a good experience because then you can actually have fun, because it's way more fun when you can actually talk to your team and have fun with them. But then sometimes if you talk, then you do get backlash. Like one time I was playing this one game and I was doing really well, we were winning, and all of a sudden I talked, and for some reason two of my teammates, they were guys, and they just did not like the fact that I was a girl, and they completely left the game. So we ended up losing because they weren't playing anymore. And it's just like that kind of that hesitant moment where you have to like decide if you want to speak, if you want to reveal that you're a girl, and that's gonna like change the whole outcome of the game. Like, why is that a thing? You know, why does it have to be a thing?
That's so stupid that you have to like be scared to talk.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I don't know, like a lot of the backlash is just for like no reason. It's simply because of your gender, or like they'll like make assumptions that like, oh, you're bad at this game because you're a girl. And like I really hate that because it just sort of like puts you down, and you sort of like it's like slowly chips away at your self-esteem, even if you're like, oh, they're just randos, I don't care. Like when everybody, like even like some people in person, if they know I play games, they'll like assume that I'm bad just because I'm a girl, or they'll make other assumptions.
And Grace, you're on the esports team, aren't you?
Yes.
See, that's more proving the fact that like it's not like just because you're a girl doesn't mean you're bad. Like we have Grace on the dang esports team, and that's really amazing and really like awesome. But it is sad that like it's almost like expected that you're bad when you play as a girl. Like when I reveal that like I'm a girl, sometimes I like get self-conscious of like every single move I make. Like I beat myself up over like every decision, if it's like good, bad, if I don't hit a shot, or if I just like completely spray, because I do that a lot. I just hold down the trigger button. But it's sad that it's just sad.
Yeah, there's so many stereotypes that just aren't forced on like gamer girls, I guess. Like there's so many different agents in different games. Like obviously in every different game there's different roles, like kind of like DPS or like damage, and then support. And for like girls, they're always expected to play support. They're always expected to kind of be the person who doesn't really do much. They just have to do whatever people tell them to. And like for me, like Sage in Valorant, she's like a healer, and in League there's also healers, but everyone always expects you to play that healer, to be that person who just does whatever the male wants, I guess. And I don't really know why these stereotypes have come into gaming in the first place, because gaming should be a unisex experience. It should be like a universal kind of thing that everyone can do, and it sucks that gender was kind of roped into it.
Going off your like Sage comment, I feel like it, like when I was first learning how to play Valorant, I certainly played Sage a lot more, because she's kind of like, she's a good like starter character, but I feel like a lot of girls do like feed into the whole thing of like Sage. And this is not to insult you, Sofia. I like just in general, it's like a lot of girls like do kind of go into playing Sage more often and doing those support roles. And well, there are of course many people who like go out of support roles. Like I play Viper and she's a controller. It's like maybe like certain girls are scared to venture out of like those support roles, and they really need to like try and adventure into other roles, like other categories.
I think the reason why a lot of girls pick the support role, I think it's just because like we're new to the game. Because like when I was picking up League, I knew it was like a really hard game, that there was like a really steep learning curve. I picked the support role because I knew you have like another person with you in lane, so if you like lose lane, it's not completely your fault. And also I just knew it was like less mechanically challenging, and because I did not have any experience like with a keyboard and mouse before, so I just like picked a role that I thought was like would help me get into the game like easier. And I think that's true for a lot of girls, because like only recently have like games been more marketed towards girls, or like have they been more open to girls? Because before, like when we were all in like elementary school, middle school, games were like only for guys, which is why like a lot of girls don't have experience. And I think that's why sometimes we'll choose like more supporting roles. And I think like even then the supporting roles, like just because everybody says, oh, like they're easy and stuff, there's a lot of like aspects of them that like are important. Like for example, in Valorant, if you're like what's it called? The guy who like runs in.
Duelist?
Oh yeah, if you're like a duelist, you can just like run and get headshots, like no brain anything. But if you're like a controller or a Sage, you have to think about like flanks and other stuff like that. There's the same thing in League. Like if you're a support, you have to think about like more like macro plays and like other stuff that's going on in the game, not just like mechanically what is going on like in your lane.
Yeah, I like what you said about like playing support characters when you were new, especially because you felt like if you did something or if your lane lost, it wouldn't be your fault. And I think that's something that also plays into like Valorant, and the reason why Valorant players also choose these support characters, because it's all about not getting blamed. Because especially being a girl, obviously if you're like a bad player in general, no matter your gender, you're gonna get blamed for losing the game. But I feel like for a girl, you don't really like to have that blame, especially if you're already like not confident enough in the way that you play. Like sometimes I'm not confident enough in my own skills, no matter like how long I've played, no matter like all the things I've done, I'm just not confident. And so I play these support characters because I don't want to be blamed for the game. If I did play a duelist, like you said, and I didn't get those kills, I didn't like win the game for my team, then I will be blamed, and it'll be even worse so because I'm a girl. And I feel like that whole blame thing is just so scary for girls when they game.
I feel like going off of very, very heavy stereotypes, like guys kind of go in like running and gunning, and they fit more of the duelist, because like you said, duelists can just completely run in, get headshots like nobody's business, but they're not like focusing on like strategy per se. But like with sentinels and like support characters like Sage, you do have to worry about flank, and like it's more strategical, and that's like I feel like girls are how do I say this? Like girls like they more so think about the strategies rather than like the actual like gunplay and like aiming and shooting.
I mean, these stereotypes, like, I think it's gotten like so bad that it like affects every single girl, because it's always just like just because of their gender there's this stuff. So like even to the point where like it sort of invalidates you, and it's like, oh, you're not good at this game, or oh, you can't play like real games, because it's like I know there's that like idea that, oh, real games are like FPSs or like stuff like that, and they think that, oh, like girls can only play Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing. I'm like, I love those games, of course, but like it's just like, one, it invalidates the types of games that are more like peaceful and like sandbox, and 2, it invalidates girls who want to play games in general.
Yeah, like these pro girl gamers or these pro streamers, there's a lot of streamers that are actually really good at the game. They're really good at Valorant, but just because they did gain popularity because they were conventionally attractive, it invalidates it for all the men. They're just like, oh, you're not good at this game. You're just pretty. That's why you have followers. You're not good at this game. Like Katsumi, she's on Cloud9 White, which is the like pro Valorant team for women, and that team is actually really good. They're like one of the best women's teams, I'm pretty sure. But she's like less validated just because she's like very soft-spoken. She's like she's cute, you know. And so that makes people think like she doesn't hold as much value as she does because she's a very good player, and people just completely forget about that because, oh, she's pretty, that's why she has a platform, that's why she has success.
Going off of like the whole like pro gaming thing, I feel like when you're playing like as a woman or like as a girl, I know that like when I said earlier, like I scrutinize every single play I make, and like I kind of let those like really bad comments get to me, and it's like maybe I shouldn't really be playing these games. Maybe I just don't have the right skill set, because like I've always watched like my older brothers play video games, and I've always wanted to do these things, but I've never seemed to like pick up on it. Like I'm really I've never played comp, or like the one time that I played I was like ranked, I was playing with irons. Like I'm not very good at the game, but it's still really fun, and having like those invalidating experiences of going, oh, you're really bad at this, why are you playing this, like go back to the kitchen, is like what I've been told, when it's just like I just want to have fun and play the game. I don't necessarily want to go play like simple like sandbox games like Stardew, like you said. I want something like action-packed and exciting.
Yeah, like I remember I first got into gaming around quarantine because obviously we had nothing to do when we were at home, and I remember I specifically bought a whole PC, a whole setup just so I could play with my friends, and it was really fun for me because I first started the game and they would just always play with me because it's like it's fun to play with someone who's new, it's fun to teach them. But then all of a sudden, as soon as I started playing more and more and I got more people to play with me, those same people that I bought the PC for, that I played games with originally, they were the ones calling me boosted. They were the ones saying, you're not a real, like, why are you playing this game? Like, this is not for you. Those same people that inspired me to play just started all of a sudden degrading me. And that was, like, really tough on me because it felt like, well, why did I even buy this? Like, I don't even enjoy myself anymore because people who made me enjoy it are now making me feel like I shouldn't be doing this, I shouldn't be worth it. And a lot of people, I invalidate myself because I am a higher rank than average in Valorant, and it's because I did play with my friends who are like very, very high, and they helped me get to that rank. But it wasn't about just getting to that rank, it was just to have fun with them. And the fact that people will always just say a girl never deserves a rank, a girl like doesn't really deserve it, unless the girl has to literally prove themselves to that person specifically that they can do what they have portrayed that they can do. It's hard to deal with.
And so I think it's a lot more uplifting to play with other girls. Because, like, if you find, I know in Valorant at least, if you find, like, another girl in lobby, it's, like, sort of, like, a relief that, like, oh, I have a comrade, thank you.
Literally, that's so, like, I've always asked, like, oh, are there, like, any girls here? Or I've been asked that. And, like, the moment you, like, find out, you just have, like, an instant connection with that kind of person. And I'm just like, let's go.
Yeah, like, you wouldn't even have to talk to them or know them. Like, you'd just be like, are you a girl? I'm a girl. I was like, oh my god, we're best friends. Like, I love you. And it's just stuff like that. And that's, like, kind of a way that the gaming community, I guess these, like, girls have made it better for themselves. We've made it a community that's easier for us. Because instead of just, like, sitting there and be like, wow, I wish this was better, we actually made it better. And now that a lot of more girls are getting into these games, a lot of more people are becoming similar in that way, it's so much easier to join a lobby because sometimes there most likely will be another girl, and then that makes it so much easier on us to play the game, and it makes it easier on everyone because we support each other.
Yeah, I think that, like, reaching out in a lobby is, like, really nice because, like, even though there's, like, these stupid, like, toxic stereotypes or whatever, like, you can sort of, like, get through that by, like, making friends, and, like, you can sort of, I guess, like, bond over that experience because, like, you know that you've both been flamed just for being a girl, so you're not going to do anything like that to them, of course.
If y'all know the stereotype of, like, COD lobbies, or, like, where, like, it's, like, a bunch of guys and they're, like, insulting each other or, like, yelling at each other, But when you're in lobbies with like girls, like I feel like we more so uplift each other rather than like, oh, that was a really bad shot. What the heck? You're just like, oh, let's go. That was amazing.
Yeah, and I really like just what we've done as a community to make it easier on us. I like even the stereotypes that have been put on us with the certain agents that we play. Like, yes, I admit, I do main Sage. I play her a lot. And it's not just because of the fact that she's a support role. She's easy to play because everyone just says, oh, you play Sage because you're a girl and she's easy to play. It's more like I've been taking that and like there's this whole thing about battle sages where because Sage can heal herself as well as other people, she can also take initiative and kind of control the game in her own way. And I've been able to do that too. And I like how everyone's been able to just take these stereotypes and just turn it into something that works for them. And it just empowers us instead of bringing us down.
I mean, to be fair to the guys, because I don't want to bash them too much, there are some of them who are like kind of nice, or maybe it's just because they're like simping for a girl. But it's like, because I know one time I was in a league lobby and I was trying a new role for the first time, and so I was getting flamed by the enemy, right? And they were like, wow, you suck at this. And I was like, gosh, thank you. And so, but then like, I think one of them asked if we had any girls on our team. And like, I was not going to say that I was a girl. Like, I'm not going to put myself out there. But then one of my friends typed, oh yeah, like this person is a girl. And then they were like, oh, I see. And they're like, oh yeah, that like character that you're playing is actually like really hard to get into. So like, you'll get there eventually. So like, don't worry about it. So they actually got nicer to me after they found out I was a girl, which was like really unexpected, but kind of nice.
Yeah, I feel like we should give the people some credit because it's not like every single lobby is full with horrible people. Like sometimes I'll like be in a lobby and it's always like 50-50, but the times that there are just a bunch of positive guys who don't really care that I'm a girl, they don't care about, oh, the fact that I'm a girl will affect the way I play. It's just they see how I play firsthand and that's how they judge me. And so it's just really nice because even through all these kind of bad experiences and situations, there's always good things that can come out of it. There's always good experiences that we sometimes disregard by letting the negative ones overpower it. And so we have to remember that in a way too.
I've met like a few people just like through having these amazing like experiences with them in like fulls or like spike rushes, and I'm like, do you want to keep playing like later? And we'll like play a bunch more like rounds until like late in the night, and it's just like you've made these friends just because you were nice to each other. Like why can't everyone be nice to each other? But it's been, there's always the positives that outweigh the negatives. You know, as much as the negatives weigh on you, I always feel like there's more, personally, I always feel like there's more positives that are there to remember.
Yeah, and who are you to let someone else dictate what you enjoy and how you play the game?
So this concludes our episode of Across the Table. Thank you so much for listening. For a transcript of this episode, head to the Point of View tab on our website, nhsmessenger.org, and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at NHS Point of View for updates and new episodes. We've been your host, Rachel,
Grace,
and Sophia, and this has been Point of View.